So it's episode 63, and this is a special episode because this is the episode where we put a cap on the most destructive, pestilence, violent-filled year. Honestly, this year is straight up from the Bible. And all the hallmarks of a Bible story.
Murder,
locusts.
It was very biblical.
All we didn't have was locusts and seas.
And a sea of blood.
Let's see blood.
Somehow we made it through 2020. Well, you know
Almost.
what?
Almost. When you all hear this,
we
will
will
have
go
made it.
inside baseball. This is a pre-recorded episode, so if one of us, if something happens, you probably won't hear this episode.
No bullshit. It's gonna turn into a tribute episode, actually. So let's have a little scrub.
You know, God,
Shut up.
this year is too dark to make the dark jokes I want to make
this
right
is the
now.
best time to make it. Shit.
This was supposed to be an episode recounting the episode in the year of 2020, but it's gonna be. This is too dark. This year is too messed up to
We
make.
gonna record a new interest video.
So we're supposed to have a photo of the nigga on that chest.
Our
1993.
shut up, Cole.
2020.
So shut up, Cole.
was,
He wasn't able to make it to this episode. We had to beg for his laptop in order to make sure that we could keep this going.
All the files were lost.
So basically, we had to send a wellness call. Wellness check. They went into his room. There was a lot of. There's porn.
There's
It
cocaine.
was a lot. We're not gonna get into that. We just had to get his laptop. We got it.
We
That's
got
all
his
it was.
laptop. We got it. And we
It was
put it in a
porn, there
Ziploc
was
bag.
cocaine, there were DVDs.
We disinfected it 6 times.
We asked why in the world was he still watching DVDs? There are websites for this now. I guess he had
There's one sticky
method.
spot.
He got upset that he couldn't use his MasterCard on Pornhub anymore.
Or his Visa.
What do you mean my card's declined?
He was trying to figure out what other credit cards are left after Visa and
Unfortunately,
MasterCard.
the E and the B key, the E and the B keys don't work. They're sticky as shit. We don't know
Stuck
why.
together.
All right, they're stuck together.
Oh, E and B. He was looking up evidence. A lot of evidence.
Anyway.
He stayed true to the race all the way to his untimely demise.
But okay, hopefully we don't have to have that type of episode. We all make
So,
but it-
yeah, 2020 has been, I mean, a year that just in so many ways that just no one could ever just imagine.
Sure,
Like,
Absolutely, man.
I mean, there's a pandemic that's still going on.
It's a panoramic out here, man.
Bro, it's been a
It's
wild year.
Panoramic.
And we've been real serious this year. We've given you all the prison reform, not the prison reform episode, the police refunding episode, we had
Retired episode.
the retired episode. We had an episode with Shamia where we talked about. I think we talked about
rape culture.
rape culture, sexual assault. We've given you all some very serious episodes throughout the year. So
We're kind of gonna let our hair down with this.
we're here for the jokes. I'm about to say,
man.
man, you got about 35 to possibly 40 minutes, depending on how long They Be Geekin' League lasts. We gonna have some fun.
We gotta have an outline, but I feel like we're just gonna make jokes a lot.
I'm about to say, man, this could either be this is old school Hintatious episode, to be honest with you. If you were there with us for episode 1, it's probably gonna be closer to that than episode 60.
So maybe I guess let's just go around and say what we've learned, or just things that we've not necessarily learned, but just what we're gonna remember from 2021. I mean, clearly the elephant in the room
It's a pandemic.
is COVID and George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, but just like in general, like, and it can be funny if you want, but just like what 2021, what have you learned from this 2020
From this year.
I learned that you can do without a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Especially if you don't have a choice. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have no choice.
I learned the club is optional.
Toilet paper is very
Whoa,
essential.
wait, what? Oh, I thought you were gonna say you do that toilet.
No, toilet paper is very essential.
Nah, niggas was tripping. Niggas was tripping.
Niggas was tripping off the hoard and shit.
They still got that toilet paper in their closet.
I also know that millennials are the strongest fucking generation in the history of fucking mankind.
Snowflakes are ass.
We going through motherfucking what 2?
I think we're a bunch of complainers.
I'm about to say, I don't know. I'm a Darian. Like,
We're a bunch of we survive, but we complain.
Yeah, we complain, but we also have a reason to
You
complain.
getting through it. Don't you got a reason to complain?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Shit, I mean, I'm sure the fucking people that went through World War fucking 1 and 2 are complaining like that.
Were you on the trail of
I
tears?
gotta turn in my
I'm sure
tires
the trail of
for
tears
the war.
was very,
So it was a little different. I mean,
I gotta turn in my tires for the war.
Bro.
Like, or I gotta
Alright.
turn in my tools.
Oh, my dad and my brother gotta leave forever.
I'm about to say, people literally it was a lottery system to go see if you get your shit.
Niggas was complaining like, hey, your brother died. Pause. Hey, oh, looks like your twin brother died. Pause. Oh, damn, your dog died too. Pause.
He
Like,
was a boss.
The dog had to go up to war?
Yeah, boss didn't know.
the dog was a bomb sniffer dog.
He was sniffing out kerosene.
I didn't know they drafted them niggas.
There's a pandemic too, by the
He
way.
ain't drafted
The Spanish flu.
Bro, we was going through 9/11. We're going through motherfucking a recession in 08.
I got it.
And we going through a
That
whole
was
pandemic.
circulating.
What fucking generation has gone through that, Aaron?
No, we meant
The World War II people
The
had
silent
pandemics,
generation.
and then a couple years ago the couple years after they had.
I don't know. The generation that had to go through slavery, they got a
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
they got a pretty big chip on their shoulders, but I don't know.
Hey, that generation would like to have a word.
Alright.
Oh,
So,
because I was
So
about to
modern
say,
generation.
I'm about to say modern, bro. Damn.
No, like that. What do you mean
I was about to
modern?
say, so in addition to the World War I, you had that. You
Okay,
had
let's-
segregation. You had a pandemic and the Spanish flu.
So at this point, we might as well add prehistoric in this motherfucker.
No.
We had to go up
Yeah,
against
I think
dinosaurs, the
so.
T-Rex then. Okay,
All right, that's
fuck.
extreme.
I mean, that's not extreme, boy. Fuck. Modern day versus fucking
I'll
extreme.
say our parents had it pretty bad too, because in the 60s and 70s you had race
Riots
riots every.
Say,
You're about 30 years
we
old.
can go to any restaurant we want now. Things is okay.
Bro, like they had race riots almost every couple months in almost every city. They had.
Wait, whoa, we get that now.
Okay, but
They couldn't pee in every bathroom.
Bro, they
Bro,
had.
they was in DC though.
Bro,
DC wasn't like that.
yes, it was.
It wasn't as bad as the South.
Bam, there were
Yeah,
riots
bro.
in DC all the time. My papa saw them. He was in them.
When MLK died, that was
Yeah.
the biggest one.
Bro, like
Bro,
leaders.
before 68, shit was kind of wild.
Progressive leaders were getting killed left and right.
Oh,
If you were our
That was
age,
funny.
you probably had to go to Vietnam, and Vietnam was a terrifying war. Like there was a lot of
A
bad
pointless
shit.
war. This
Yo, with no
Agent
answer.
Orange in that bitch.
Oh god, that
We
is
have
funny.
it like Darren said.
I think we got it pretty bad though, bro. Out of all,
Bro,
between
we-
the baby boomers
we
and us,
we do have some.
like, come on, bro. Like, we downplaying this.
This
shit.
was
Like,
our
why?
coming of
I'm not
age.
saying we don't have it bad, but I'm just saying we do.
That was
complain.
that was funny, Malik. I enjoyed it. I agree with you, bro. We are some surviving niggas, to be fair.
No, we had some.
We survived our own things, but I guess we're not
Put
quite.
it this way, I
survivors.
mean, with this pandemic, I mean, it sucked ass. Like, one thing I've learned that I'm an introvert, and I'm naturally an introvert, but I'm an introvert to a point. Like, I do have to have human,
everybody does.
like, interaction at some point. But what I'll say is, there's a difference between this pandemic and the one 1919. You didn't have Zoom, and you didn't have social media to talk to, or phones, mostly.
I know, Aaron, but we wasn't a technology era. Niggas is still going to the fucking factory and working with the fucking mask on, okay?
That's what I'm saying. So on top of all that, and if you were black too, you had no rights. So it sucked pretty badly back then. It was pretty bad back then.
We had no
Alright,
rights.
yes, Aaron.
It was pretty bad.
Wait, that shouldn't be as funny as it was.
I wouldn't want
It was
no
pretty
rights.
bad.
But when you put it that way, this thing
might
is in the
say,
end.
God
On top of
damn.
that,
I'm about to say, you
just
should be
had
grateful. No, Aaron.
I'm not
Niggas
saying,
dying.
bro. I'm not saying we shouldn't ask for better. I'm just saying.
This is
Darius right.
150
We do
years ago,
complain
your
a
life
lot
would
about
suck
life.
anyone have rights.
bro.
Oh, but I do get. And this 2020 has been terrible. Like, listen.
I say,
Yo,
you should
yeah,
be
yeah.
grateful that you have corona.
When you think about it, freedom is relatively new to the black community. It's only been there for like 150 years.
Yes.
That's wild as hell.
That's kind of wild.
But like 2020,
Sorry, right,
yes,
bro.
like
Go
we
ahead.
had again, we had a pandemic that we completely like. I was tweeting this earlier today.
Every step of the way.
There's been some bad presidents, like James Buchanan, basically let the Civil War happen, let the states secede. They're like,
What are they gonna do about it, you know?
We're gonna
Richard
re-elect
Nixon,
somebody else.
Richard Nixon was doing espionage in his office on his political opponents. Was a
Richard
psychopath.
Nixon out of Watergate.
Richard Nixon's a terrible human.
George Bush was there for Katrina, and he led us into the Iraq War.
From
and
oil.
just, I mean, like, was a complete idiot. Trump got all of them beat in my book with the COVID response, bro. Like, I mean,
Just denied.
Man,
that it
can
was
we ever
there.
talk about the fact that this man basically quit working after election night?
that's what I'm saying, bro.
He hasn't
I-
done his job in like a month.
Even past that, I
I'm
go on
going
his Twitter.
fucking golfing.
I have him muted on Twitter. Occasionally, I unmute him just to go on his timeline just to see if he's tweeted anything. If, I don't have him follow. I'm just saying.
I check it on occasion.
I just go to see like if he's saying, "Oh man, you know, my prayers with all the Americans that have passed." You know.
People say shit.
Bro, all he
Turn
tweets
it
about
This
is the
election was a farce.
It's
Stop
crazy
stealing.
how Biden is the exact opposite of that.
Biden's a fraud.
Bro, like Trump does not give a shit. All he does is talk about the vaccine, and that's cool. Like Operation Warp Speed.
That's
you
his
know,
win.
that's but I'm just saying, like it's like that's like giving credit to the guy who if a house gets burned down, you give a medal to the dude who has a gas canister just because he called the police. Called the fire department. It's like, oh,
It's
he
only
did a
his
good job.
win if that shit is successful.
Yeah,
Right.
like-
It's only his win if that vaccine that he picked out is successful.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying
Keep that in
they're
mind.
trying both vaccines.
I'm about to
To
say.
be fair, they're trying
Under his
all of them.
under his presidency, it's only that Pfizer he probably only get.
But,
Moderna.
He's trying all.
So basically, what I've
Well,
learned.
they ain't even part of Operation Warp Speed, as they'll have you know.
Oh yeah, no.
And
let you know.
They will let you know that up front. We didn't do it. Johnson & Johnson will be his only win 3 months from now. I think they were.
But that's what I learned about 2020 is that I need human interaction. I mean, like it just there's
Right,
been
you're a
points,
human.
There's been points in this where it's been really tough. I'm not gonna lie. And again, I want this episode to be a little bit more
Yeah.
lighthearted, so I don't want to get too deep into it.
I'm
But
fine.
it's been tough, man. It really has been. Like again, we said in the last episode when we were talking about like people shaming people for Thanksgiving and all that, and as a human being, it's hard just to say, oh, just don't do anything, don't see. And there's like people on Twitter and like, oh, I haven't seen my parents in 10 months. It's great. Oh, I'm doing it for another 10 years. All right, well, you're a maniac. So,
Bro, or you live in Michigan and your parents live in freaking Idaho.
Oh,
like
exactly.
you don't see
That's
them
not
all the
in
time.
general,
My parents
so.
live 20 minutes from me, and not to say that everybody has to live right down the street from their parents, but even my friends who live out of state from their parents, they see them like on a fairly regular basis.
Right,
it's difficult.
Yeah, just having the option removed, like in itself, like that's something that's crazy.
Like, I just always go back to for Corinne's birthday.
Shout out to Corinne.
The
Like
last
literally,
time-
like that
That
is
seemed
like
like
that's
last
the
year.
BC moment
That
before
seemed like
Corinne.
last year.
Yes,
That was
that's
like right
BC.
before
Yes.
that. Damn.
Before Corinne and after
Last
Damnation.
Yeah, if I just say after Corinne and before Corinne and after Damnation.
But it was crazy that Corona was around during that time.
Sure was, but it wasn't in our country like that. Where we was chilling.
Oh, I think it was there. We
I've
just,
met a couple people that felt
Oh
like.
yeah, remember that time when
when
we went to happy hour in the city and like the bars were starting to close out, son. You was wearing gloves and niggas was like
That was the last
hands
time.
and
That was the last time.
Wow, bro.
Hold on, what time was that? That was before the Corona.
It was probably the last.
It was like in the last couple
weekend.
last
You
couple
doing
weeks.
gloves at the bar?
Nah, he was-
You had to have hand sanitizer. I think
He was wearing gloves. He was there. It was just until
that's when it was starting to really.
Yeah.
Because me and Dante were supposed to go to that wrestling match, right? Literally, like
That was the day before. I'm kind of
And I went there and I met Sinead. She was out in the city with her friend, and like we went in there. They had hand sanitizer everywhere, and
That was the original response.
I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous in there because I'm, you're arena right next to people, and then I look at the wrestlers tagging people's hands and stuff. I'm just like, oh god,
Niggas never thought it was
yeah.
gonna be that serious.
And
Yeah,
then
I'm about to say they thought it was gonna be like a whatever, like a little baby
Flash in the
pandemic.
pan, bro.
it's like
Like a
SARS.
I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of excited to stay home like for a while because at first they were kicking off with like A and B days and like, oh, you only had to work half the week. I was like,
From day
Yeah, I was
one,
terrified.
my biggest question that no one would answer, and they didn't have an answer, was what is the end game? That's what I knew. That's how I knew from the jump. Like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, when it kept getting worse,
What's
yeah.
the end game with this? Like, what we're doing
Yeah.
right here? But
yeah.
anyway,
It was more of a
Yeah.
pause and let's reevaluate before we
Yeah.
DEFCON 3.
right. So like I was gonna say,
Stop
like,
movement of people and let's figure out what is the best plan of action.
because like people were saying, oh, it should be done like by the summer. I was like, whoa, hold on, I don't like. Wait a minute, we're like, And then Rudy Gobert got Corona, and I feel like Rudy Gobert might be the person of the year because he got Corona, and
And
that's
it was
when
the
they got
downfall,
serious.
Bro, that was my last
man
day going
fucking
into
coughed
the
on
Yeah,
all
when
the
they shut the
mics.
NBA down, I was like,
that was my last
that was
day.
the
What
biggest
That
thing.
nigga
He
coughed on
called
all
the
the
mics
mics
on the press
He was
conference.
so
He was
in
such
the
a-
and joking all this shit, and then this nigga had
And he
COVID.
got it, bruh. That was the wild.
Man, I'll never
What did you learn,
forget
Derek? We didn't get through everybody.
One thing I learned is, you know how we talked about a couple episodes past, like when we did get locked down and we were quarantined in the house, like you thought you had all this extra time to do things that you thought you weren't able to do before, but like really you realize how valuable time is and how easy it is to slip away from you. Because here we are, 10 months later.
I still can't play
I'm
the
not
piano.
gonna lie, I didn't. Yeah, I can't play the piano. Like that's one of the goals I set out. Like it's a lot of things that you write down that you have set that even before coming into this year, we had our 2020 goals. Is a lot of them were blocked by this pandemic, but like even still, like you realize, and not to get serious, but you realize like you are actually in the way of some of your own goals that you write down. Like you have all the time in the world. You have the time to journal down what you want to do, to write out your goals, and you won't always get to them. So this year did teach me a lot of like accountability and like, am I getting in the way of my goals, or what can I actually do to bring these into reality? It's that you can't blame everything else. You kind of it is a little bit of self-evaluation. So that's one thing that I learned from this year. Like just keeping myself accountable, and for next year, like we write down all these goals at the top of the year, but we don't really stick to them, or we don't really like implement a plan to like really see them through. So like that's one thing this year taught me, and I'm gonna try to keep that going like years going forward.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. One thing that I'm glad that we all learned this year: celebrities are stupid as shit. They're all dumb. And we all need to pay
agree with that
attention.
shit.
We need to all pay attention.
They're
to
normal
this.
people, and normal people are generally dumb.
Right, they're
So,
flawed.
yes,
They're
yeah.
flawed.
Nah, flawed is very nice. Them niggas stupid. And a lot of them know they stupid. And they be saying stuff, and I'm really happy that this year we all kind of figured out, you know what? Watch these niggas work. Watch what happens when there isn't any... Watch what happens when people don't have the luxury of being able to insulate themselves. They are learning from like being home and being able to just post things and just being able to watch more things and just give their opinions. A lot more of them are giving their opinions on situations. They don't got nothing else to do. They don't do performances. They can't go to the club unless they go to the South. South's also lesson number 2. The South's a different type of place. But anyway, but yo, it's a different type of place. But yo, what we just seen from celebrities, a lot more of them have like plugged in this year. They've got more active on social media. They've given more of their comments. They've given more of their opinions. And the thing that we learn about a lot of celebrities or pseudo-celebrities, Instagram influencers, a lot of them have opinions that really aren't that bright. And I'm happy that people checked them on it. I'm happy that people have like paid attention this year and told them, yo, look, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, as much as you kind of feel bad for certain people, like, you know, I know we were talking before the podcast about the dude Desi on Instagram. He was like on the roll. He was on the come up. He made like I was ignorant. He made an ignorant ass statement about like, you know, in terms of like the way you're supposed to behave yourself when like when there was a lot of like racial tension going on, more than usual. When everything was going on during the summer, he made one of them statements, everybody was paying attention to it, and they were like, yo, that's wow, you can't say that about people.
Right.
People, and you know, fine, whatever you want to say about cancel culture, that's a different type of argument. But the biggest thing is, I'm happy that people are paying more attention to the people they follow, paying more attention to celebrities, and they be like, yo, this is stupid. Like, look, Lil Wayne this year decided to endorse Donald Trump for president. Made 0 sense. He got nothing from it. He's going to jail for a gun charge in the next couple months.
And Donald Trump lost, so I mean, like, you didn't even get like.
You got nothing.
Not
from
even
this.
that. I'm about to say, yeah, Donald Trump lost, but he's not even gonna get a pardon most likely. Lil Wayne will not get pardoned before the Trump thing is over. So I'm pretty much sure that's the negative of it. We're learning. Yo, look, stop idolizing celebrities. They're people. They like you. This does go to what you said. They are flawed. I called them stupid, and that was a little mean. I meant every word of it, but you know,
I mean, stupid sometimes goes.
Yeah, and
thing
it's
is, people are just
Absolutely.
stupid. And just because you shoot a basketball well, or you write good music, or you are a
You
good
have
actor,
a platform.
you still have the stupidity.
You're a human being.
I won't even take stupid out of it. People are inherently flawed. You are inherently flawed, and a lot of us are dumb.
Some of them are pretty.
Some of them
bad.
are stupid. Yeah, no, you're right. Some of us are stupid. But you know, we're all
Common
inherently
sense ain't common.
Well, we're all inherently flawed, and the biggest thing that I've seen within looking at this is people are finally recognizing that, and they're trying to hold the people that they follow or idolize accountable for the stupid things they said. Like Shorty from Black Panther, Letitia Wright, I think that's her name. You know, she put out that video about being anti-vax, and the video was strictly one dude's opinion.
Wow.
It was a dude's opinion. It wasn't backed up by any scientific fact. And niggas was riding her on like social media like, yo, that's stupid. They were letting her know. And you know,
who was she? Was she the sister?
Shuri from Black Panther.
Oh, she's
She's anti-vaccine.
Well, she was basically she was trying to explain that she wanted people to be able to question things, but the videos that she used. Number one, I think I read that he used homophobic slurs or language that was offensive. And then, well, the bigger issue was that it wasn't fact checked. Like, the dude was just giving his opinion on why he felt uncomfortable with vaccination, which you can do, but you can't try to sway people's opinion with just another person's opinion. You have to have fact behind it if you're going to present another option. And that's something that is often left out. And it's like, yo, people let her know. And she was like, oh, cancel culture. It's not cancel culture. It's people checking you and letting you know what they would let anybody else on their timeline know.
I will say, that is another thing I did learn this year, though, that it's okay to not go with it's okay not to just toe the line of everybody else. That, so in general, I'm a liberal person, and I general 98% of the time I go with what the liberal way of thinking is. As this year has gone on, for a variety of reasons, I've kind of noticed that like I don't have to agree with everything, even though I will say that's not acceptable. And you know, if you don't go with everything that everybody says, like people will look at you funny. But it's just
I agree with you, but my biggest thing was it wasn't that she wasn't towing the line. The biggest thing is that you're spreading misinformation.
No, that's different. But I think
it's
it's in that.
It's in the same sphere. Now, yes, people should be. That's a good point.
Like the
Should be
Corona
honest.
thing, like
Definitely.
a lot of shit that's like. So right now, there's really is a debate about the schools being open or not. Well, I I've been tweeting about that and been retweeting people about that since June and May. And June and May, if you tweet anything about the schools being opened, like saying they should be, people will look at, oh my God, what, you want to kill grandma? Now that's a real debate because people are finally looking at the studies that have been out and the data that's been out since then. But, you know, at the time, Donald Trump tweeted schools should be open, so liberals like, fuck that, no. Well, Trump said it, well, no, we can never do that.
Nope.
So, yeah, I mean, I do think, like, not necessarily cancel culture, but basically, you don't have to be total line the party line all the time. And again, Dante, I always harp on this, but like I said, you made a lot of jokes during the summer about COVID and Fox News and all that when I would say things. And now everything I was saying in the summer, liberal places like the New York Times, they're tweeting the same shit or just later than what I was saying.
Yeah.
That's like,
Oh no, because a lot of places are regressing right now, so I don't know.
No, I'm not talking about like COVID not being like a real threat or anything. That's never been my point. I'm just saying, like, as far as like the viability of lockdowns, kids being in schools, the whether like outdoor like dining and all that leads to transmission. If asymptomatic transmission is a thing, these are all things that are questionable. Like the World Health Organization said that asymptomatic transmission is rare in May. They said that on videotape. Like that's not like a. But then they retracted that statement after.
That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is though, like these are things that are being questioned now, but people have been talking about them for months, but they weren't acceptable for liberal media a couple months ago. So that's one thing I've learned.
Media, that's funny.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I got you.
bro,
You
it's honestly true though. Like,
liberal bastards.
You fine.
I've never been like a just.
What's Cuomo's brother's name?
Yeah, Chris Cuomo. I've never been like anti-media, and I'm still not anti-media. But no, like biases are really, really real, and I've been and I've learned that. Where I think a lot of times in the summer, like whether it was COVID or whether it was like whether it's social justice, sometimes like we let our biases get in the way of facts.
Yeah.
Like back during when the protests were going on and people were like, oh, like nowadays when you see lockdown measures get implemented, they always say, oh, unless it's a protest, those are fine. That is nuts to me. Like I don't like just because you want to you can go and protest, but like they're not going to sit there and say, oh, you know, you can't protest racial injustice because you'll get crushed for that. But there's a reasoned debate to say no. Like if we can't congregate just in general, why should we be able to congregate for protests? Yeah. So, but I guess my point is, I just noticed that there is a bias in the media or whether
there's a slant. There's a slant in everything. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Nah, I was just gonna like bring it back into the year.
I was gonna say
that was the year.
No, you're right. You actually gave a full year of what you learned. Which is actually quite funny. We're still on topic. Remember that.
No, we still are.
Oh man, what is everybody? We've all done things this year. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like what's the bright side? What are y'all happy about?
What are you happy about?
I mean, let me
cut my job.
In terms of what you've done,
let me leave this off though. Like,
I'm alive, I guess.
That's what I'm saying.
I like my job. I kept it.
Yeah. Let me leave.
It's not really to be happy about.
This year, like, it's a lot to complain about.
Yeah,
this year is a lot to complain about, but it's all.
Cough, you got engaged this year. Isn't that a good thing? Cough.
That's what it's harder to see the bright side of things. So like,
just giving you some good things. Dear Lord, there are certain things.
I just feel like there's some years in history of just really bad year. Like 1968 was a really bad year.
I know, but it's important seeing the value in bad situations.
Good things still happen with some bad years. Like I'll be like, yo, I got a promotion in the middle of this mess. It's kind of messed up because a lot of people lost their jobs. That makes me sad. But at the same time, I'm happy because I put my mind to a goal and I earned it.
No,
and
that's totally fine. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta find the things to treasure.
I do agree with that. But when I look back in this year 5 years from now, I'm not
talking about this year 5 years from now. A lot of it, but I got you.
I'm about to say I get what you're saying. I agree with your point.
Yeah.
I try to find the good thing, but I can't really draw too many positives from this. This year's been a crushing mess, right? I feel bad about going to go see my mom. Like I can't go to any sporting events. I can't. People are dying in droves. I haven't seen my nana since the last Christmas. I mean, okay, I got engaged. That's great. Like, I'm
Good for you.
really excited
That's your
for that.
personal thing.
But
Good for you.
then I don't know when I'm gonna get married because
Oh,
I don't know
you know
when
what?
that's gonna
Can't
be
help
able to
you with that
happen.
one. Sorry,
Like,
boss.
so, I got a promotion at my job. That's great. But like you said, there's every week
So
there's
much
almost a million
desolation and
people
so many
like
things around you, yeah.
with jobless claims right now and all this and there's a bunch of kids that are basically going to lose an entire year of school, and that's going to disproportionately affect black and brown kids,
yeah.
and that's going to disproportionately increase a wealth gap between that. So I mean, yes, there's some personal things I can be happy about, but I mean, this has been a shitty year. I really think there's two ways around it.
Yeah. I think this is good
You're
that
right.
you try to lead this.
Now,
on.
if this year does lead to more social change, that we can look at this year as maybe like maybe not the starting point, but like the real kicking off point of when we really got changed.
This
in
year
terms
was
of
the
social
car
issues.
battery of society.
Maybe, yeah.
I
was it?
I was about to say, I used the wrong word. I said car battery, I meant the jumper cables. But,
Like, I'm to the point now where, like, 2020 will not be mentioned. Like we will skip over this year. Like, I mean, good things happen. Like, the Lakers won the championship. That's fine. But I'm just going to act like none of that bubble shit happened because it was just... Yeah,
I mean,
like,
but would the therapist tell us to skip over our trauma and pain?
in this case, yes, because it's such a crazy outlier. At least I hope it is. I don't mind doing it. Yeah.
I think this was for me personally, it was a very molding year. That's all I'm saying. Like, I just think it was a lot. I mean,
what you're saying?
I haven't been through a lot of. There's a lot of people that lost loved ones. There's a lot of people that lost their jobs. There's a lot of people that lost their livelihoods. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think like in times like this, like Dante was trying to convey with this segment, is just really looking through that and seeing like for those who it's some people who have a right to be like upset and
Yes, absolutely.
saying fuck this year.
Even
But, like,
people that have had good things could
Right.
still be highly upset. Like,
That's
bro,
what I'm
you
saying.
could have done great at your job, but you may have lost your dad because of
Right.
COVID. So yeah,
Right.
it's hard. But you just gotta find as many.
I look for what to be thankful for.
I'm about to say we also have Thanksgiving. Yeah, what makes you good? What makes you happy?
I mean, look at me. Like I said, I got I'm engaged. I have a dog. I have my family. A lot. I take pride in those
That's what I'm
things.
saying.
I take pride in those things.
Right.
To get me through the day. But like again, I just can't subscribe to.
Yeah.
Well, this is like.
Oh, I'm not trying to say it was the greatest year.
That
ever.
was a great year, but I just
I
can't
just
subscribe.
look at this
Wait,
year
yeah.
as
This is also a fun conversation.
is a setup for the next year or for the future. You know what I'm saying? Like this time, this is like
This the
Darren was
launch
talking
pad.
about. This is the launch pad year. You know what I'm saying?
That's fine.
For honestly, you know what I'm saying? Like I invested some money in the stock market for the first time.
Same here. Like it's a
You
lot
know what I
of
mean? Like
Exactly.
I
I got $15 worth of Disney stock.
It's-
It's Apple, not Disney.
It's
Sorry.
LD. You know what I'm saying? But I was blessed to continue to have my job and provide and have an income and things like that. So this is just a kind of a opportunity to I don't know, use the wrong word like take advantage, but to slow down time, because I feel like if this year went the way I wanted it to from 2019 to 2020, I feel like this would have just been another year, but I feel like this became a year that is going to be something that's going to stick with me for the rest of my life, from a reflection standpoint,
right.
and from something I tell my kids about. And I know we joked about it in the beginning of the podcast how millennials are going through a tough time, but it's kind of like a rite of passage in a way. You know what I'm saying? To tell the next generation and my kids, and I'm sure you guys tell your kids and things of that nature about things that we went through, and hopefully this is something that we pay the price to help the future society in terms of this is not going to be the last pandemic. It's going to be another one.
Yeah.
Of course, it's
Hopefully I'm dead by then.
and history.
What?
As history shows, and this may just be a springboard to a quicker response, and I would how do's and don'ts type of deal, and yeah.
That's a good point. The do's and don'ts. And as far as me, like this year, despite everything that's bad that's happening, I'm knocking on wood with everything I'm saying. Like I've been very blessed. Like a lot of big changes happened. I've moved into a home. I have a fiance. I have a new car. I have a new job.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a lot of things that have come from this, and it really put into perspective that like I was saying before, not everybody had those blessings. A lot of people lost things in an instant. Like on the last podcast, we were talking about how some people like come into the hospital and then 4 hours later they're like having a serious like health issue, and then next thing you know they're dead, like from nothing at all, like thinking that it's not a huge deal, thinking I don't need any type of medical help. So this year really put things in perspective that things can change very fast. Like regardless of how much we plan, regardless of how much we write down our goals and save and stuff, things can instantly change. So it's always good to kind of just like take the time, which I think we were forced to do, appreciate life, check on our loved ones, checking on our friends, like because things can change so quickly. So I mean, I'm 2020 was awful, but like I'm also
put things in perspective.
Yeah, I'm thankful that it put year. Yeah. I'm thankful that it put year in perspective. It sucked that I hate to bring Trump into this, that he kind of divided our nation because at a certain point when this pandemic kicked off, I felt like everybody like was at risk in the pandemic, so that kind of unified us in a way, and I felt like people were kind of all grounded regardless of wherever you come from. I mean, we have a lot of issues to work through. We have a lot of pain to get through, but like I'm hoping that this year put things in perspective for everybody.
It grounded a lot of people. We had no choice but to look around and accept things and figure them out.
Right.
Panoramic.
This is 2020. I mean, 2021 will be better. I'm just gonna speak into existence. I don't believe in
visualize.
I hate doing that.
Walk into it. Don't
We
do
said
it.
that for 2020. Just
Come
no
on,
one said
just
that.
I mean, I don't believe in
Man, this is another year, Mo.
Stay positive, man.
I don't believe in
You gotta
manifestation.
you gotta
or
manifest
speaking
within
into-
certain.
I don't believe in any of that
No,
shit.
because
Right
that
now,
same girl that be stepping on
Yeah,
I'm not-
But
listen,
she's been
I'm
doing
not-
it since 2016.
I'm not saying it's gonna be a great year. I'm just gonna say it's a new year and a new opportunity to be better in 2020.
Yeah.
The bar's pretty damn
To
low.
build on what we learned.
no bullshit.
I'm about to say.
It's only
shit,
up
we
for
had
fucking
one.
year.
We could get this.
Screw it.
We
get what?
2020 has gotta be
Max.
Why won't you?
Land the plane. Land the plane. I don't want to
Oh
do
my
this.
God.
Show you how to do a perfect case.
This is the end of the 2020. Donna's gonna die
No,
on
I'm
camera.
telling you, this is how you do the perfect case.
Milkman.
With the
Why
power
do you say
to melt.
Oh my God. It's your man, Shut Up Cole. You're signing off 2020.
Your man's on really DW here.
Bro, what the fuck?
Cause he's trying to.
It's your boy Millie, aka they be geeking Lee. If you look into each other's eyes, you'll find the show.
What?
Oh God, it's so
You gonna end the year like this?
I
Do
was
it
saying
again.
the Goofy movie when the
Nah.
y'all remember that joke?
If you're not talking about the song that
I'm
Tevin
talking about
Campbell
the song
sang.
with Tevin Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know all the lines.
I remember the line. I remember
I
the
just
beat.
saying,
Nigga,
you ain't even singing in rhythm or some
I
shit.
did say
What was his
that.
name? Power Chord, Power Train, something like that.
Powerful.
Oh, thank you. All right, cool.
And this is Darian, aka Clark Kent, and these are the Hentations. Happy New Year, y'all. Stay safe.
Oh God.
Oh, see the nigga fucking out too.
Damn, that's smooth.